Hello, and welcome to Improvisations on Growth with Madhu, Einsiedler, business and life coach. It has been an inspiring journey following the developments prompted by COVID-19 and exploring the various facets of our global crisis. My name is Dadina Arhire, and it has been my pleasure hosting Madhu's COVID-19 crisis log, asking questions and improvising answers. So I invite you to join our dialogue and ask yourself questions such as, what is it that I miss most from my normal life? Is technology enough to keep in touch with loved ones? Are we fighting the coronavirus or something else? Listen and explore with us. Hi Madhu, how are you today?
Hi, Adina. Good to hear you and see you again. Nothing has changed a lot. We are still in lockdown. It's week 4, and I realized that while I'm talking, I'm not even sure if it's week 4 or 5 or 6. It just seems like we have been in lockdown forever. Slowly, we're getting into routine, my husband and I. The good thing is that we have news that business will be opened from next week on, like parts of the industry can open, and then beginning of March, hairdressers are opening up, which I'm so grateful for because I need a hairdresser really badly. So there seems to be like a silver lining of normality sort of coming back. And then weather is fine now, the spring has started, it's warm there, and that kind of lifts the mood. I feel more relaxed, to be honest. The news that some of the businesses will be able to open, it's kind of relief. It's like, okay, we are going back to some sort of normality.
It's interesting to hear your status in Austria, because here in South Florida, it's funny because you lost track of the week of isolation, of counting, and I was doing the same thing. I was striving to remember what week is this, because it's starting to feel like the days are just like melting into each other. It's like a big blob. I'm trying to give you a quick update of what's happening here because we haven't even reached the peak. It sounds to me like in Austria, you've already passed that because the government has taken measures promptly. And over here, we haven't even reached the peak, and they're still talking about how many tens of thousands of people will die. So I feel almost like I'm starting to believe in a string theory kind of thing. I feel like we're living in parallel universes, like slightly delayed. We're very delayed because it's unusual to hear you about businesses opening, and over here I'm reading articles about how alcohol sale is on the rise. And then I read other articles about other countries, for example, where they've implemented like martial law to keep people out of the streets. What's happening here and what I read about other places, it's making me think of a war kind of like situation. Have you ever felt at any point like this is almost like a war that we're leading, and if it's so, what do you think we're fighting? Is it the virus, or we're fighting something else?
I have read about this war thing that supposedly, at least that was in the news over here, that supposedly in the States, it's the war against the virus. So this is supposedly how it's being phrased in the States. And over here, we are not using that verbiage really. Over here, it's more like, okay, we need to stick together, we need to adhere to the rules, and we need to take care about each other. So like on a regular base, on TV and on radio, really on every station, there are jingles, little ads saying, okay, I got your back and you got mine. So I take care about myself, and this is how I take care about you. So the overall communication arc that our government is using is about we are in this together, and we need to take care about each other, and everybody needs to be self-disciplined and adhering to the rules. This is how we make sure that our most vulnerable citizens will not be hurt and that our health system will be able to cope with this. So there is no word about war at all. It's more about we are sticking together and we're doing this together, and we're it's more like knitting us together for this, and it works. Really, it works, and it is a feeling of okay, this is just happening to each and every one of us. And I think our government, I really think they're doing a good job in a they're communicating on a very regular base, like almost every day. There's like a core team. It's our chancellor, and then the health minister, and the interior minister, and then of course the vice chancellor. One of those four I hear and see every day in the news, and they are so present, and they speak with one voice, and they communicate one message. So it's very stringent, if that's the word, stringent.
It sounds like it's also very reassuring. It's a way of approaching things in the sense of we're all in the same boat and we're on your side. We're the government that helps you.
Absolutely. And so the communication is the one part that creates a sense of safety. And the other part is that they are putting really effective measures into place to help the economy. They're increasing our state debt. We all know that they're doing this to help the economy. So, and not just the big companies, but especially the small companies and the small contractors and self-employed people. So the sense that at least I'm getting is they know what they're doing and they really care about us. So it's just so believable that we all are in this together, because it's not just communication, but it's also really effective measures.
From that point of view, I can say the same here. The difference is I'm getting all of my news mostly online, so I screen a lot. I don't really watch TV, but I do have the same sense of solidarity. The government immediately passed the bill to provide the stimulus for every person in the U.S., for every citizen. They are communicating. What I don't see maybe as promptly implemented as over there, I still see way too many people working around in my community. I thought that was gonna stop, but somehow they're working even more, like cutting the grass and delivering, and that is a little bit unusual considering what's happening. Yes, and here in South Florida, they took a while before ordering the stay at home, and I think that should have been done earlier. But I do sense that people are sticking together more and more. Maybe it's a fear factor. Maybe it's in our DNA, like the herd. When we're all scared, we tend to get closer together. I'm still wondering, when will we have what you're telling me about, like businesses opening? I feel like for us here, this is still at least a month away, at least, and probably 6 weeks. I wish they had invented robots to wash and blow dry hair, so I can just buy one on Amazon because they still do 2-day deliveries. So, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's still something I
And
need to do.
dye hair, because obviously I have already enough gray hair so that it shows, and it's just horrible. So
It's a sign of
it's a
wisdom.
corona. I have now a corona.
You have a tiara.
Yeah, I wish.
So speaking of that, aside from the hairdresser, okay, what do you, after so many weeks of isolation, what do you feel you're most happy about to be going back to normal?
One of the things I probably won't go back to as much as I did before was eating out. My husband and I, we used to eat out a lot, and now I'm cooking every day. And he started to learn cooking. So like at least once or twice a week, he learns a new recipe. This is going to be a really nice routine. Like we're getting used to this routine. I work and we take the dog out, and then we do some stuff in the apartment. And then around 2, 3, 4, I start cooking, and then around 4, 5, 6, we eat. So we eat every day together. This is what we usually don't have. I started really enjoying the cooking. I would have not thought that before. And for the first weeks, I probably was really annoyed that I have to do this. But now it kind of grows on me. It is really nice to, chop the vegetables, and like every Saturday we get together and then we pick out recipes, and then Bernhard goes, he does the grocery shopping for us because we are not supposed to go out a lot, only for grocery shopping, so we only do this once a week. I have my recipes distributed during the week, and then I just cook, and that's nice. So
Maybe even one day a week. You can make it a tradition, so to speak.
this will be interesting to see how well we still don't know yet to what kind of normality we will go back, or what normal will be once the businesses are opening. So we don't know how our business is going to look like, really. Yet now, besides the one-on-one coachings, they can always happen. But what will happen with the workshops and the development programs, I don't know. The one thing that I'm really, really looking forward to is to seeing my parents. So this will probably the first thing that we will be doing, to drive to Linz. They're 1.5 hours away, and then meet with friends. That's the next thing. And probably before going to my parents, I will go to a hairdresser. So to meet people, really, and go to a coffee house and sit down and have a chat. So to meet people, that's the first thing, because that's the one thing, I seem to remember, like the first week that I told you that we're meeting with friends, and we're so excited that online works so well, and that we're meeting with friends more often than we do in real life. And this has changed. We're still meeting friends online and have like our cocktail hour together, but we do this only like maybe twice or 3 times a week. And I realize it's nice and it's good, but it's not the real thing.
But what do you think it's missing? Because even when you meet in person, it's not like you share hugs every minute. Let's put it this way. You still have the face to face. You can still see each other. You can still see body language. You can still hear each other. You get the vibe. You can still have your alcohol. So what do you think it's actually missing?
We had a video conference today with a colleague of ours, and he works as a physiotherapist. And we are talking about how we can develop one product together, because the body, that's the part that he's working on, and the mind, that's the part that we are working with, is they are one, really. So how can we bring his expertise and our expertise together so that a client can benefit from the whole experience? And it was the third time that we have met online, because we started meeting when the corona lockdown was already in place. I told him today that We still develop and we have good ideas. And I said, okay, one of the next steps is that I need him in the room with me because I need to feel who he is.
Thank you for listening to a new episode of Madhu's COVID-19 Crisis Log. I hope our discussions have opened opportunities for looking at rather obvious issues in a new light, and maybe have constructed questions or answers that otherwise you would have never thought of. Do you also feel like technology is taking away from our humanity in certain ways? Are you in a fighting mode, trying to cope, to maintain some sort of control over your life? Feel free to share your insights with Madhu directly by emailing her at madhu@einsiedler.at or leave your feedback on her social media on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Also, don't forget to listen to the following episode.